as we know, there's no right and there's no wrong. It's the card that you pull, the message that you get from your higher self, from spirit, is the perfect message. And they're always positive and they're always of love and light.
Welcome to Soul Sisters Get Real, the show that goes deep in who we really are and why we are really here.
We're your hosts, Caryn from the States
and Eleni from Australia.
We've had heartfelt conversations as soul sisters for years, and we're ready to share our truths, stories, and life lessons with you.
And to inspire you to connect to your truest essence, which resides deep within your soul. There'll be tears, there'll be laughter, and there'll be no holding back.
So sit back, relax, and let's get real about the things that truly matter.
Welcome everybody to today's episode of Soul Sisters Get Real, where Caryn and I are having a chat between the two of us about oracle cards, about how these cards have helped us be comforted in our lives, how these cards have helped us know with absolute certainty that our loved ones are with us, that our family of light is with us. And what we're going to do for you is we're each going to pull a card from our favorite deck, and it's going to have a very special message that is directly for you. And it doesn't matter whether you're listening to this message now or sometime in the future, even 10 years in the future. This is exactly the moment when you're supposed to hear this message.
I didn't even know what an oracle deck was 3 years ago. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about where it was that I started learning about oracle decks and how. And I know, Eleni, for me, it was 3 years ago when Josh, my son, passed away in the motorcycle accident. And I opened up to Caryn, who has been with us as a prior guest. She is an angel messenger and she does angel channeling and she teaches angel classes. And Caryn called me after Josh died and offered to do an angel session with me. And I was like, well, I guess, I mean, anything I can get from Josh, I'm open to. And then that led to a few months later, it led to me taking a class on being an angel messenger and learning how to contact and connect with angels. Well, in that class, I was required to buy a couple decks. And one of them was the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses Oracle deck. Mm-hmm. And it was a requirement in order to take this angel class. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm really into oracle decks. I'm not sure about that. You know, that's kind of woo-woo. And then I was like, you know what? It's part of the class. I'm just going to go for it. And I'm going to get this oracle deck and see what it is and why it's part of this class. And so that was my first experience, again, about 2.5 years ago with oracle decks. And from then on, I am loving them. And I'd love to know, Eleni, like, how did you get started?
I got started when I moved to Adelaide a year ago. It feels like I got started earlier, but it's only since I moved to Adelaide because my life was way too frantic and busy to to do any sort of cards prior to that. And also, I never had the faith that I could do it for myself. I would get readings, and we both got readings from the same person, from Caryn as well. And I would love my readings from other people. And it's been, you know, I used to get readings for many, many years from other people. But in terms of actually thinking, well, I can actually connect in myself, I didn't really have that belief until about a year ago, when one of the people that I was following on social media who connects in with angels and archangels, when she created her Metatron deck, and that's when I got my first deck. And then since that time, I've had a number of decks, but Metatron is definitely my favorite. And yeah, like you, Caryn, I was also skeptical because I really didn't think that I had the power to connect in, but yet we absolutely do. We absolutely do. We all have the power to connect into spirit and to angels and to archangels. And so tell me about with your particular deck, what does it give you? What do you get out of it?
All right, I will tell you that, but I also want to tell anyone that is here listening to us that we are going to pull a card from our decks for you and specifically for you. And just know that if you're here, if you're listening to this, whether it's live or later, this card is for you. The universe just works
Mm.
like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, okay, so let's see. The decks that I use. So when I started with this Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck by Tony Carmine Solano, I didn't know what to do with it either. I remember taking this class and Karen would say, "Okay, well now we're going to pick up this angel deck and I want you to shuffle it and then ask a question that you would want to know from the angels and pull a card." And I thought, "Okay, I'm not sure how to do it, but I would do it." And the messages were like perfect. I always thought, "Oh my gosh, like this is right on." It answered the exact question in such a beautiful, loving way. I was shocked. And
Mhm.
then we would practice with each other. And like you, I have to say, I remember thinking, I'm not confident in doing this. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, what if the card doesn't resonate? What if they don't understand it? I don't know how to explain it. And so practicing it was very helpful to me because I got to learn how other people would decipher it. And as we know, there's no right and there's no wrong. It's the card that you pull, the message that you get from your higher self, from spirit, is the perfect message.
Mhm.
And they're always positive and they're always of love and light. So it's not like anything scary because I was very fearful of it. Like, what if they tell me something that is like scary or ominous or so that's kind of how I got started, is just practiced with those cards, with these angel cards. And I loved the answers that I would get. So how did you get
Mhm.
started?
Yeah, so I basically followed the instructions. Which is so which is so me. I just follow instructions like there's always an expert out there that knows how to do it, and so I just listen to them, and then I find my own way later on. But with me, my beautiful deck that I first got, and I've talked about this before, which is the Amanda Ellis Metatron deck. I felt the energy and the power of the deck when the box arrived, and I found myself crying uncontrollably when the box arrived, and I didn't understand what that was about. Like, what the hell is happening to me? Why am I crying because a box has arrived? And later on, I found out through another reading that it was because just the potent energies of Archangel Metatron, and it is a portal, and he is one of my guides on the other side, and so it's very, very powerful. The energy is very powerful, and so yeah, just yesterday I pulled a card when I was a bit concerned about my hypnotherapy clinic and the future of it, only because some few things were happening and unfolding. And I pulled two cards that were both the same, and they were both, we always talk about, I have 8 hypnotherapists that work in my clinic, and it's a family that we are, a sisterhood. It's a circle, it's a sisterhood. And the card that I pulled out when I said, tell me about the future of my clinic, it was the family card. And then I went, okay, that's wonderful, because we always say we're a family. It's the family. And then I actually shuffled again and I got the same card. And it just gave me that confirmation that it's all good. We're a beautiful family, that we're all going to stay here together, and it's lovely, and it's everything that I want it to be. So I just relax and let go. So it was
You
that
know,
kind of comfort that it gives me.
yeah, what I love about that is the family card came up, right? And it is about, what does that mean to you? And so you
Yeah.
could decipher that in a couple different ways. Is you'll always be family, it's okay to let it go. And what is it that comes to you? Or you'll always be family. Yes, it's all good. It's perfect. It's fine. You're family, right? And so the learning how to read them is about, when I pulled this family card, what came up for me right away? What came up for me with this
Mhm.
family card, right?
Yeah.
And what I heard you say, because I was going to ask you, is, what did that mean to you?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah. And
Exactly.
what,
And that's a really good point that you're saying, Karen, because, at the beginning when I was first doing the cards readings for myself, I didn't even think, what does it mean for me? I would look at the message in the
Me too.
book. Um, and and then now I do it differently. So I get the message internally first, like what does this mean to me? And then I look at I read the message to add to my understanding and to add to my interpretation, not to be the only and the sole interpretation.
Yes, because it's always what comes to you first, is what's coming up for me, looking at the pictures. And like Karen told us in this class, is look at the colors. What do the colors represent to you? What does the picture mean to you? What do you see in the picture that resonates with your life, that helps to answer the question? And the other thing that is, I thought was so interesting that Karen would tell us, is not asking a yes or no
Hmm.
question,
Hmm.
because it's hard for the cards to, you know, they're more descriptive than that. So it's more of like, what would happen if I chose this path, right? So, like you said, what happens if I choose this path, and then instead of a yes or a no?
Exactly. I would use the pendulum for yes or no's. So that's what I do with my pendulum, where I always
Mhm.
do, okay, show me yes, show me no. And then I would ask a question, it will go either yes or no. But, all of that is a lot of fun, and it can give us so much comfort because our family of light and our spirit team are around us all the time. And so when we're in that zone of grounding in and doing a little prayer, that's what I do before I start. So I don't just pick up a card randomly and just start shuffling and there it goes. I actually have this little routine where I make sure I have my shoes off, socks off. I'm grounding, onto the ground, and I sit down and I center myself. I look into the distance. I've got a beautiful view ahead of me, and then do a prayer, and then 3 big breaths as I am shuffling. I ask my question. I feel the energies immediately in my body sort of change, and then I pick the card. And interestingly, Karen, I had my sister from Melbourne last week. And this particular sister is very science based. In fact, she's a mathematics teacher. And she's been teaching maths for the last 4 decades. And she's very math science oriented, as you can imagine. And so she's not, this is not something that she would buy for herself. But last time she came to me, she picked a card. We did the cards that was so right for her, that this time when she came to stay with me, she suggested it, which I was really surprised, because last time it was me suggesting it. This time
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I think it's time to do some cards." And the question she asked was all about the health of her family. And the answer she got was spot on. She just went, "Oh, wow." And that's the reaction I have from guests who we pull cards for, that, oh, they don't know. Well, they'll do it, but they don't know whether it means anything. And I get this, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Like it's this, oh, this is incredible, because they get such a specific message that can only relate to their question.
I agree. I agree. I've done for some friends also that have never had any experience with oracle decks or cards or anything. And they're like, okay. And then you pull it and they're like, oh my gosh, that's the answer. And it's really beautiful. And what I find in my life is, there are many times where I would pray. I'd pray to God, I'd pray to Jesus. I wanted answers. Can you help me? Give me an answer. What should I do? And then I didn't know where to look for that answer. Like I remember thinking to myself, when will I know what it is you want me to do? How will I know what it is you want me to do, God? How do I know what path to take? And I would pray about it. In fact, when it came to my marriage, I remember praying and saying, "Tell me when." Like, Lord, I just help me out here. I just need you, tell me. I want you to direct my life. Well, when I started pulling cards and I really started getting into it, if I have questions like that, my answers are, like you said, so spot on. And I feel like it's answers from God, from spirit.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's more of a direct answer than me trying to like come up with, what do you want me to do here, God? Right. And it's like this physical tool for me to get
Yeah.
the answer. And I remember thinking, I don't know, maybe it was 6 months ago, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've lived my whole life without having these direct answers from God, from spirit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I love that I now have that tool where I can ask those kind of things. And I wanted to address real quickly your ritual, which I love, and that's beautiful. I love that you take the time to do it. I have to be honest, because I am in still that go mode a lot of times in my life with writing the book and working on that and still having my businesses, and uh I typically will pull cards in the morning as part of my morning routine. And I literally just like sit on the couch, take a deep breath, center myself, and I'll say, okay, Josh, what do you got for me today? Or okay, Spirit, what do you got for me today? And I'll just open up to like whatever my question is. And then I shuffle them and I choose a card. And so either way really works. And sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, I should have more ritual, but I love that you do that.
Yeah, anything actually works. I think, whether you're in a hurry or whether you're taking your time, I think it's all about intention. So, you're not flippant about it. So for those of you who don't know and haven't heard prior episodes when Karen's referencing Josh, she's talking about her son that passed 3 years ago. And so you have these conversations with Josh. So I'm wondering, Karen, does Josh have a message for the person that is listening right now? Does Josh have a message for this person that's listening right now?
I love it. Great question. So let me tell you real quickly I would say it was about a year ago now. I ordered this deck, and it's Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reid. And the reason I ordered it is because my birthday is 7/7/70. So of course, seven is my number. Seven is the number of abundance. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a seven energies oracle deck. Like, of course it's gonna be great for me. So I ordered the deck and I got it. And it is so beautiful. And I loved it. I loved the colors in it. I loved the pictures in it. There's that was a card from Josh I got today on Great Big Love. But I mean, the pictures are just beautiful and they're
Mm,
so soft. And so I love the pictures, but I started playing with the deck. And as you know, sometimes when we get decks, we're like, I don't know if this is so familiar. I don't know if this resonates with me. So for a little while, I was like, I don't know if this resonates with me. They're so simple. Like the messages in here are tender embrace and the land between and roots of abundance. And I was like, I don't know. They're very simple. But I started pulling from them anyway. And one day, I don't know how it happened. I just thought, that's a message from Josh. And that is so cool. I know he's the one that made sure that that card that I pulled was a card from him.
how
And
did
then
you know? You've got to tell us, how did you know?
how did I know? That's a great question. I just had a knowing. So when I pulled the card, I was like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what Josh would say. Thank
Mm,
you. And if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure this is what it was. It was the card was broken open and it said broken open. And I wasn't sure. I forget what I asked. I think I asked something about feeling sad about whatever and when will this go away or how can I help my healing to move faster because I'm feeling lonely and sad, missing Josh. And my boys were both away at college, the other two boys. And so the card I got was broken open. And it said how when losses happen in our life, specifically losing people that we love, it's not about what it's done for us, but how we can help others through our own transformation, how we can help others heal.
mm,
And at the time, I had just started writing this book with Josh. And the book that I'm writing is to help other parents that have lost children that are grieving move through grief and find healing. And I thought, of course, that's a card from you. Broken open. I was broken wide open. And my heart being broken will help others heal. That's basically
yeah,
what the card said.
beautiful. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
So then the next day, I was like, maybe this is a deck from Josh. So I asked another question and I don't remember what it was, but it was spot on. And I just had a knowing. Like,
Mm,
it's that clear sentience, right? That knowing
yeah.
that talked about in our episode when she was talking to us about angels. And I just knew it. I was like, this is a deck from Josh. Of course it is. It's 7 7 70s. It's a 7 energies. And anytime I pull a card now, I know that it's like me connecting with Josh and asking him a question.
Wow, I love that. And I'm going to just say something else that just gave me this aha moment when you said about the 7 7 70, right? Well, you know
Mm-hmm.
what my birthday is? It's 7 plus 7 is 14, and it's a 7. So mine's 7772.
I love it. Of course.
Like, I actually never saw it that way. So I'm 14th of July. And so I'm 777 and you're 7770. So we've both got 3 sevens.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Of
How's
course.
that?
Yeah.
Soul sister?
Yeah. Right? No wonder why we connect. I love it. Maybe you need to get a deck of 7 energies.
Yeah. I was actually thinking that. I'm going to do it. I
Yeah.
have got her particular deck, but another one. But I'm going to get
Mhm.
that particular
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I
Yes.
am. How exciting.
So I know. So I love this deck. So I would love to pull a card for our audience, and I shuffled it. And this is for you. If you're listening to this, this means something to you. And it might mean something different to everyone else, but this is a card specifically for you. So let me just, and I just ask that this card is perfect to whoever is listening or watching. And the card is Great and Full. And it is like a chalice, a golden cup with some pink, I say wine coming out of it. And a beautiful flower down below. And it's the number 4. So maybe the number 4 means something to you. Or maybe the cup overflowing means something to you. Or a golden cup. And it's great and full. So before I read it, what does it mean to you? Eleni, do you have any thoughts on what's coming to you?
It's interesting. The first thing I thought of was I had a team meeting yesterday with my staff, as I do every fortnight with the whole team of the clinic. And I was given an analogy by one of my staff members, and she talked about the blade or the chalice. So this is 2 days in a row I've now heard the word chalice, which I don't usually hear. Did I even say that right? Because I don't use that word. Is it chalice or chalice?
I say chalice, but I
Chalice.
don't know if it's
Yeah. So it's a word I don't use. That's why I'm not familiar with it. It's just so interesting because she used that word yesterday. You use that word today. And to me, what that's telling me is that's all about abundance. That's all about being open to the abundance that is coming our way. When we see our overflowing cup, we are open to the world and what it's about to bring. That's what it means to me. And it's just interesting. And that's how we put things together, because I heard that word yesterday and then I hear that word today.
I love it. And how perfect that I said that word that came up today, right? So what is it that I said or that card represents or the colors in it that means something to you?
Mm-hmm.
So great and full, the key concepts of this card are the mindful practice of gratitude, knowing that you are enough, committing to your intentions, a sense of sufficiency, and letting go of attachment to form. So it talks about before you can begin to understand the process of manifesting your desires, you need to practice deep gratitude and the willingness to share that with others. This is the true nature of prosperity. It's not about the things you accumulate at all, it's about how you feel. You're invited to surrender to the important truth. There is always enough for you. Right now, contemplate how being in the energy of enough makes you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you will leave no attachments to what you do or do not manifest in the material world, what you do or do not have. Then, like magic, you have more than enough. What a fantastic universe we live in.
Beautiful.
Love that. And one of my favorite phrases that I heard a couple months ago was, "You have everything you need and more." I was like, that is beautiful. And that's what this is saying to me is you have everything you need and more.
And more. And so true. We often think about what we don't have and we wish it to come. But one of the biggest things with my spiritual awakening was that realization that I have everything in this moment. And when I talk to people and say that, they don't believe it. They don't believe that they have everything in that moment, but they do. They have everything in that moment. You are provided for. So everything you need, you have. You may not have everything you want, but you have everything that you need in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I hear too. Like Josh saying to me is, everything you have is great, and your life is so full, whether I'm here on earth or not, because he's still here with me in spirit. And
Mm.
so I have a fullness, even though I was just talking to you about how sometimes I feel the emptiness and the loneliness. I'm being told, no, it's great and full, and it's all perfect.
Beautiful. I love it. And as you're speaking, I can't help but look at the picture behind you, which is,
Oh,
of course, Josh. And I just can't help it. Whenever you say that's every episode, when you say my son Josh, my eyes automatically go to your beautiful background.
yeah, it's my boy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So, do we have time for you to pull a card from the Archangel Metatron?
absolutely we do. We absolutely have time. So once again, if you're listening out there, this is for you. So the Metatron deck is quite big because Metatron is big. Like he is literally like in the spiritual world, like this giant, and he is the leader of the angelic realm. And so his force is profound and powerful. And so, so Archangel Metatron allow us to see the truth of this moment and deliver whatever it is that people need to hear right now, what's right for them. Whatever it is of the highest truth, the highest love, and the most profound, profound truth for them. Okay. Okay, this is the card. Ooh, I love this. So this is the heart healing card. So this is number 39, and it's the heart healing card. And it is green because green energy comes from our heart. It's the green ray that comes from our heart space. And you can see there's like a crystal in the middle of it. And the background is like almost like trees in the background, but they can be anything. They're magical trees. So it's all about healing your heart. And what that speaks to me of with heart healing is that whatever wound you're carrying, whatever pain or suffering that you're holding on to, feel it so it can go. You have to feel it. You can't ignore it. You can't go around it. You've got to heal it. And when you heal it, there's so much magic because your heart will open up like a flower and give you so much in terms of being the creator on this planet. We have to heal. We have to heal all our wounding and all our challenges and all the things that we all experienced. And the only way to heal is to feel. So feel everything as it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you know that Archangel Raphael has a green emerald light that you can allow him to shower you with and heal you? So, there's the green emerald healing from Archangel Raphael.
And there's another word that just last night I was looking at Raphael. I was looking at resorts in Cyprus and I was looking at Saint Raphael resort. And it was just like, oh my God, it's just never ending. And this is what happens when you connect into the mystical universe. Like it's just this web where everything is connected and you just do not stop seeing synchronicities all around you. Like it's just nonstop. When you're aware and you notice them, they give you more and more and more and more. And it's just like, well, it just can't be a coincidence all day, every day when you open your eyes and you listen and you see everything in a different light. And it feels so good to know that we are not alone. Caryn. Imagine if this had happened, that happened with your son, which is the hardest, most challenging experience that any mother can possibly, or parent can possibly experience. And yet this happened to you 3 years ago. Imagine if you had no belief that he was still here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I love to know that I still have that connection with him, for sure. I mean, it's carried me through a lot, a lot. And I want to say also, as you talk about coincidence, right? A lot of my book, because my book is the experience that I've had in the last 3 years when Josh passed away, and then, how I moved through it and how I healed through it. And part of it is this journey that I was on. But many times there are so many coincidences when you open your eyes. It's really like there really is no coincidence. And so many times in the book, I say coincidence, question mark, because like, is it or is it not? Of course not, but something to be aware of. So I love it that you brought that up.
And even the word coincidence, if you look at what it actually means, it's two incidences occurring together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what a coincidence is.
Sure.
And our human brain has interpreted it to mean, well, that's just a random chaotic event. But I have a deep, deep knowing that there is absolutely no chaos in the universe. There's absolutely no randomness. There are no coincidences. They are all synchronicities that are beautiful, and they're part of the beautiful web that we have no understanding of. We can only see this much of it when really, like, it's an infinite, expansive space that we can't see, but we see it looking back, but we can't see it when we're in it. And so, yeah, absolutely. I
I
love
love
that
it.
I can't wait to read your book. And I love that, you've talked about coincidences. And in my book, which is also a book that I'm excited about releasing next year, it's about synchronicities as well. Like, it's magic. It's pure magic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Can you read to us a little bit of that card and what maybe that'll help someone else and something that comes up for them around the heart healing?
Yeah, I think that's important. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, let's see what the card says. I'll read because it's a long passage.
Yeah.
I'll just read the key words.
Mhm.
So the card with Metatron's green ray of light offers a healing sanctuary for your heart. The green ray revives, restores, recharges, and balances anything it touches, reflecting the ability of green to grant us space to rest and to heal. And interestingly, what you just said, Caryn, linked not just to Archangel Metatron, but also to the ray of Archangel Raphael. These two mighty archangels combined their power and light to shine a soothing green light on pain, distress, and heartache. Any wound, whether emotional, spiritual, or physical, can be helped by the balm that the green ray offers. So I'm just going to, that was the first paragraph, and now I'll just read the last one because there's many paragraphs in between.
Mhm.
Embrace the healing of the green ray and let it restore you. You are also encouraged to be in nature, in the green forests, in parks, in your garden. Feel the green grass under your feet and the gifts that the natural world offers for recovery, growth, and renewal, all provided by the green ray linked to earth.
I love, love that. And who here, I mean, there's got to be people listening and someone is listening that needs healing today. And whether it's physical or emotional wound or any other wound, that is so powerful.
So powerful. And I've just got to say, we feel you, sister. We're with you. And we hope that this message really resonates through every core of your body, that you maybe get out there today and be barefoot on the grass and feel the feeling nature of the grass, maybe hug a tree, look into the distance, and know that your cup is full and that everything is okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yay. Well, good. Well, thank you for joining us. And we always have our question at the end. And it's always different, right? Things change. So, my question for you, Eleni, is what does Soul Sisters Get Real mean to you?
I think it's for me, just after having that conversation, it feels like the sisters that are listening to us today. I almost have this feeling in my body when you said that, Karen, that I can almost connect into their pain and their wounds, and that we're right here with you. This is what this podcast is all about. We're getting real. We're not pretending that we're all, happy and unicorns and rainbows every second of the day. We go through our challenges. We go through our downtimes. We go through our hardships. We go through our pain. And we're right here with you. We're here with you. We get real with you. What does it mean to you, Karen?
Something very similar, actually, when you say that, is I was thinking the same thing is that we are here being vulnerable, spending our time and our money doing this because it's important for us to get real to help others. And what we want more than anything, because we know that there are people that are listening, because there always are, that are struggling in some way, and there's some healing that can help them in their journey. And that we just hope that you continue to allow us to be part of your lives so that we can share our vulnerabilities and we can share our lives in a very real way to possibly help you with something that you might be struggling with.
Beautiful. So, yeah, please subscribe so that we can do this journey together. Sending you
Yes.
all our love.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. We hope you loved it.
And if you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And remember, always connect to your truest essence.
And choose love. We'll see you next time.